Okay, so maybe you're thinking about investments.
Who isn't these days, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you probably heard all the usual stuff,
Real estate,
crypto NFTs, all that.
hot topics.
Yeah. But what if I told you there's something even more interesting out there?
Hmm.
Something that maybe hasn't been on your radar. Digital real estate.
It's a fascinating concept, you know? It
Yeah.
really kind of turns the idea of traditional investing on its head.
Yeah.
Like instead of buying physical property,
Right.
you're buying software apps, platforms,
Okay.
the actual digital tools that power our world
Uh-huh.
and have the potential to bring in serious revenue.
Yeah, the video we're looking at today makes a pretty bold statement.
Hmm.
It calls digital real estate a game changer.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, the more I think about it, the more that idea makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like owning property,
Mm-hmm.
but on a whole new level.
Right.
No tenants,
Yeah.
no leaky roofs,
Uh-huh. Right.
and potential for revenue 24/7.
Absolutely.
What's not to love?
Right. It's beautiful because you're free from the physical world.
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking about virtual land in some metaverse or something.
Right.
This is about owning the actual software infrastructure that runs our lives.
Got it.
The potential for scaling it is just enormous.
Huge. And speaking of enormous, did you see that projection for the app economy?
Yeah.
$500 billion.
It's a lot.
And that's not some distant future we're talking.
I know.
That's just a few years from now.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
It is, but when you think about how much our world runs on software, it makes sense.
Right.
I mean, everybody,
Yeah.
tiny startups to huge companies,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's using software to solve problems,
Well-
create new experiences, connect with customers.
Right.
It's the backbone of the whole economy.
It really is. It's like even Elon Musk,
Yeah.
with everything he's got going on SpaceX and Tesla,
Right.
he's seeing the power of these digital assets.
Absolutely.
The video mentioned he's moving more towards software.
It's all about leverage, right?
Yeah, leverage.
Having a digital product that can reach millions,
Mm-hmm.
billions of people
Yeah.
with hardly any overhead,
That's powerful.
that changes the game.
Absolutely it does. And think about it.
Yeah.
Software doesn't need physical maintenance.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't wear down.
Uh-huh.
You can manage it from anywhere.
I can.
It's completely different from a building.
Totally. But I bet some people listening are like, okay, this sounds great, but building software.
Yeah.
Isn't that super complicated and expensive and time consuming?
It's a valid concern.
I mean, I get it. That's a legitimate worry.
For sure. But what's really cool is that it's gotten way easier to get started.
Oh, really?
Like in recent years, companies like Innolab have popped up.
Okay.
They offer like a complete solution
Mm-hmm.
for people who want to get into digital real estate
Mm-hmm.
without having to learn how to code overnight.
Right. Innolab. They kind of showed up in the video
Yeah.
as this answer to all the worries about complexity.
They basically take the whole process of making and managing a digital asset
Yeah.
and break it down into 3 easy steps.
That's right.
Develop it, maintain it, market it.
Makes it sound almost too easy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
They develop your software or your app.
Mm-hmm.
They take care of all the technical stuff like maintenance and security.
Exact.
And then they get your product out there to the right audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having your own team of experts, but without the huge cost.
That's the idea.
And what I thought was really neat is they don't just work with tech companies.
Right?
They work across all kinds of industry.
That's right.
So they can tailor solutions for whatever you need,
Yeah.
whether you're in healthcare, education, finance, you name it.
It's fascinating how they made themselves into this one-stop shop for digital real estate.
Yeah.
But it brings up a good question.
What's that?
How does this type of investment actually compare to the more traditional ones?
Yeah, like that example they gave in the video.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine buying a $5 million apartment in Manhattan.
Okay. You're looking at years to break even,
Right.
constant maintenance costs,
Well,
risk of damage.
yeah,
It just seems so much riskier
it does.
compared to building a digital product that could be making money much faster.
Yeah, and don't forget how unpredictable something like crypto is.
Right.
I mean, sure, there's potential for big returns,
Yeah,
but the risk is just as big.
totally.
Digital real estate seems to offer a better balance.
Okay.
Potential for good returns, but with a level of stability and predictability
Mm-hmm.
that other investments just don't have.
Yeah, and they really emphasized how digital real estate is kind of recession-proof.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, think about it. Even when the economy is bad, people still need software.
Mm-hmm.
They still need apps. They still need digital tools.
Absolutely.
It's not like some luxury item that
Right.
people cut back on when things get tough.
Exactly. In many ways, we rely on digital tools even more when things are uncertain.
Yeah, that's true.
Businesses are looking to be more efficient.
Individuals want to save time and money.
Uh-huh.
The need for software just keeps growing.
Yeah.
So digital real estate becomes really appealing when times are tough.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about why digital real estate is so cool. The scalability, the lower barrier to entry,
Yeah.
that potential for stability even when the economy's a bit shaky.
Right.
But let's get practical here.
Okay.
How do you actually go from just having an idea to launching a successful digital product?
Right.
I'm guessing it's more complicated than just snapping your fingers
Yeah.
and having Innolab build your dream app.
It's not quite that simple.
Uh-huh. Okay, so what's the process?
Well, there's definitely a strategic process.
Okay.
And it all starts with figuring out a real problem
Mm-hmm.
that your digital product can solve.
Okay.
You have to ask yourself, what needs aren't being met?
Mm-hmm.
What are people frustrated with that my app or software could fix?
So it's like finding that perfect spot
Yeah.
where there's a need in the market and it matches up with your own skills or passions.
Exactly.
Or maybe even a unique perspective you have.
Right.
Okay, so say you have that brilliant idea.
Yeah.
How do you know if it's actually going to work?
Yeah.
Will people actually pay for it?
That's where validation comes in.
Okay.
You can't just assume people want what you're building.
Right.
You need to understand your audience, what their pain points are,
Yeah.
what they're already using,
Okay.
and don't be afraid to test your idea early on.
So like get feedback,
Exactly. Get feedback.
make changes, refine it.
It's a process, you know?
And that's one of the things Innolab seems to be good at, right?
Yeah.
They don't just build the product.
Mm-hmm.
They help you figure out how to get it in front of the right people.
Absolutely. Because even the best app in the world
Yeah.
is worthless if no one knows about it.
Right.
Marketing is super important in the digital world today.
I bet.
You've got to cut through all the noise,
Mm-hmm.
grab people's attention, and convince them that your product is the answer they've been looking for.
It's a lot.
It's not easy.
It makes you wonder, how do you even start if you're not a tech person?
Yeah.
Like, for people like me who aren't coding experts,
Right.
the idea of building a digital product from scratch can be really overwhelming.
I get it, but that's where collaboration comes in.
Okay.
Partnering with a company like Innolab can bridge that gap.
How so?
They bring the technical know-how, the development resources, and the marketing guidance you need to make your vision a reality.
So they handle all the technical stuff.
Exactly. And remember, they have flexible payment plans.
Right.
So you don't need a ton of money up front.
It's like having a whole team of experts in your corner,
That's the idea.
guiding you every step of the way.
Exactly. And it brings up another important point.
What's that?
This whole digital world is always changing, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What's cutting edge today could be old news tomorrow.
Yeah.
So how do you stay ahead of the curve?
That's the question.
How do you future-proof your digital real estate?
Right. Because it's not a set it and forget it type of investment, is it?
Definitely not. The digital landscape is incredibly dynamic.
So how do you future-proof it?
It's all about being adaptable,
Okay.
continuous learning, and being willing to embrace change.
Okay, but what does that actually look like?
Yeah,
What can our listeners do to stay ahead of the game?
that's a great question.
Yeah. Embrace the dynamism.
Uh-huh.
That's a good motto for anyone trying to figure this digital world out.
Right.
But okay, let's get practical.
Great.
How do you actually future-proof your digital real estate?
Yeah. That's the million-dollar question.
Because it's not like you could just set it and forget it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, not at all. Like we were saying, the digital landscape is constantly changing.
So how do you future-proof it? What do you actually DO?
Well, the most important thing is to never stop learning.
Okay.
You got to keep up with what's happening.
So like, how do you do that?
Well, follow the industry trends, read blogs, attend webinars, listen to podcasts.
Right, of course. Oh.
The point is to really immerse yourself in the world of technology
Yeah.
and understand how it's all changing.
So it's not just about having a great app. It's about,
It's about the bigger picture.
yeah, understanding the trends that could affect your app's future.
Exactly what else. Pay close attention to user feedback.
Oh, okay.
Your users are like gold.
How so?
They'll tell you what they love about your product,
Hmm.
what they hate, what they wish it had.
Makes sense.
So you need to regularly ask for feedback.
Okay.
analyze it, and be ready to adapt your product based on what you learn.
It's like having this built-in focus group
Yeah,
constantly giving you insights.
exactly. But you bring up a good point about change.
What's that?
Doesn't change sometimes feel a little risky?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, how do you balance the need to experiment and grow
Right.
with keeping your product stable and reliable?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It definitely is. It's a balancing act.
Yeah.
You don't want to be constantly changing your product.
Right, that would confuse people.
Exactly. You'll confuse your users, but you also don't want to get stuck in the past.
Right, and fall behind everyone else.
Exactly.
So maybe it's about making small changes, tweaking things, improving based on feedback and new information.
That's a good way to put it. But then how do you know which changes to make?
Right, because there's so much to keep up with.
It can feel overwhelming for sure.
Yeah.
And that's where a knowledgeable partner can be so valuable.
Yeah.
Companies like Innolab, with their experience across industries, they can help you figure out which changes will have the biggest impact and guide you through making those changes.
So it's like having a team of digital real estate advisors.
Exactly.
Helping you navigate everything and making sure your investment stays relevant and profitable.
That's it. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. The future of digital real estate is incredibly exciting.
Yeah, I think so too.
The lines between the physical and digital worlds are getting blurrier, and new opportunities are popping up all the time.
That's true.
The key is to stay curious, be open to change, and never stop exploring what's possible.
Well said. This has been awesome.
Yeah,
exploring the world of digital real estate, its potential, its challenges, and the strategies for success.
Absolutely.
Hopefully everyone listening found this deep dive informative and maybe even inspiring.
I hope so.
And as always, we encourage you to keep exploring on your own.
Yeah.
You'll find everything we mentioned in this episode, including that link to Innolab's free consultation.
Yes.
Down in the show notes.
So check it out.
So take that next step. Dive deeper.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe you'll be the one creating the next digital real estate empire.
You never know.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep those digital dreams alive.